Those are the best. All right, Mono Blue Devotion. This list has a lot of similarities to the one on my website. It's a little bit different. There's a lot of little small things you can tune in this archetype. Which exact mix of 1-drops you're playing, how many dive down versus how many spell pierce, what mix of Surge Mare, Merfolk Trickster, and Tidebinder Mage do you want, how many Brazen Borrowers are you playing, Thassa, Master, Gadwick counts. One thing I'm not sure that I like in this build is that there's only 3 Thassa here, and Thassa's just like one of your best payoffs, so I think not playing 4 of her is probably a mistake. I know it like really sucks to draw 2, but like once you have her in play, she scries 1 every turn, so like your odds of drawing a second are like pretty low once you have the first one out. So let's go ahead and dive on into a league with this one and see how it goes. Was trying to at least get platinum the last few days of the season. My deck of choice is Jund Food, and I've played through so many hate cards without much difficulty. I understand why people are frustrated with this deck. Yeah, the Jund Food deck's real good. The Jund Oven deck we're going to start with today. Oh yeah, smothered burritos are great. Yeah, the blue-red Wizards deck, one of the reasons why I ended up playing that deck in that tournament was because it just, like, generates fun games of Magic. It's like a deck that, like, is interactive when it wants to be. Brad, can we just all agree that authentic Mexican food is better than all of the Tex-Mex? We can at least agree on that, right? We can have harmony in that respect. Oh, Singleton Mutavault. So I changed exactly one thing about the submitted mono blue list that Soul of Dragonite sent in, and that is this full art basic island. When we draw this full art basic island, there's one of them. This was a Nykthos in the originally submitted list. And I almost cut the Mutavault too, but I decided to give it a pass. So like, when we draw the full art island, we can think about the fact that that could have been a Nykthos. Your stream and work are going to help me kill time between now and Hamilton on Saturday. Keep it going, Chief. Thanks for the support, Ian. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Deck's busted. Deck's perfect. 0 changes. It's gonna concede the league and move to the next one. I don't know that we can improve from here. It's all downhill from here, chat. It's all downhill from here. Planes concede. I'm gonna click submit. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm gonna click submit. Ban monocolored decks. Monocolored decks clearly busted. Turn 2 wins is this Hogok Summer, right? Oh, they're playing a control deck. Wild. They're likely playing a control deck, I guess. Not guaranteed, likely. Yeah, it could be the Tempo deck. The Tempo deck is less likely to play Irrigated Farmland, though, right? You kind of do both, Larry. I don't think they're very good Nykthos decks, because you don't really have, like, a big expensive payoff. But like, as far as like playing Thassa, like the Thassa aspect kind of makes you a devotion deck, right? Kind of, sort of. Some kind of mid-range deck, it looks like. I think I'm actually just going to play Gadwick here as a 3/3. Because while Gadwick can draw cards if we save him, he says whenever we cast a blue spell, we get to diddle something. So I think getting Gadwick down here so we can, like, diddle their blockers and hit them sounds great. They chose Angel on unclaimed territory. Wild. Is Shalai unbeatable? I think Shalai might be unbeatable. I was gonna say that attack sounds awful. This matchup's likely quite bad for us. If I had to guess. One of the strengths of our deck is supposed to be to fly over their stuff. Like if they have a Lyra here, we're like just dead. Gisela, yep. Yeah, we need a Thassa this turn. We had Thassa, we could be okay. Reality Shift sounds great. Rapid Hybridization sounds great. None of the rest of these seem very good. Entrancing Melody's pretty expensive. Brazen Borrower sounds awesome. Master of Waves goes wide around them, so that seems fine. Yeah, do I want Tail's End? Do I think they have enough legendaries? I guess they played two different ones there. Maybe this is ideal. Spell Pierce doesn't seem very useful. Need two more cuts here. And keeping Lyra off the table sounds very, very ideal. I think Caleb was playing green-white. This person has blue cards in their deck. They could just have, like, a blue splash, though. Jay the Mind Sculptor. Thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub for the 12th month at that. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Getting to 6 mana is a tall order. Yeah, Caleb, I saw Caleb tweet his list. He was, like, mono-white. It could get disputed here. He was splash green for once in Shalai activations. Alright, I'm just gonna hold up Spectral Sailor here. We're checking out some of their options. You do, in fact, have a sword and shield. Welcome to the Knights of Hoaglandia. Thread of Length, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, between Brazen Borrower and, like, these Tricksters here, we should hopefully be able to push through a lot of damage while we generate some card advantage with these Sailors. Like, they play a 3-drop next turn, we're just like, Borrower, pick it up. And, like, the following turn, we're like, Trickster, diddle you. Welcome to Hoaglandia, Thread of Length. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday reviewer in the world. I've got a little one on my way, completely unexpected. It's my first. Do you have any advice? Yeah, sleep now. Kids are fun. The first 9 months is until they become mobile, they're very easy. I'm just gonna play Trickster so I can attack for more here. Yeah, they might have some kind of combo. Oh, it's good with Bishop of Wings. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe I shouldn't have played out the other 1-drop so I could hold up a Stormtamer activation here. Yeah, I think Reality Shift is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So even if I do this, they're not dead this turn, so I'm just gonna let them block. Double Trickster Reality Shift here. They should be very dead. But just did not do a whole lot this game. Cast a bunch of ops and died. Yeah, I'd bet their hand is just a bunch of expensive stuff, too. Oh, Tricky Dick. Coming in hot. Got a nice freebie game 1. Ran him down in game 3 on the plate. Being on the play is busted, chat. I tried to make an agreement that my wife, that she would take care of our kids for the first year of life, that I would take care of them for the other, their other 20 plus 2 boys, and 5 years later she regrets the decision to decline my offer. Yeah, the first year is super easy. Year-ish. Depends on when they start like rolling over and stuff. And even then, like once they roll over and crawl, like packing playing them is not difficult. The tokens part of the deck we played earlier felt okay. The Cryptolith right part of the deck felt really bad. Hey, that looks better. Looks better than an island, huh? You want to try and trade Spectral Sailor for Pyromancer here? Also have dive down, so like if they try to kill my sailor, I get to dive down it, and then they don't have good attacks. That's assuming they don't have another removal spell. Sick. Worked out. Sure. So I'm going to target the Gitu here, so if they have some kind of random instant that doesn't kill my thing, it can't get big enough to eat this. Attempt to eat trade. Eat trade, love. Weird. Why didn't they hazard? Oh, they were just like worried about a counterspell? That's fair. Second Merfolk Trickster here is actually very good. It means I get to flash in Merfolk Trickster and block this. It'll no longer be indestructible. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year, War Dav. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, we're going to take its indestructible away, and we're going to double block it. I'm pretty confident they don't have an instant or sorcery, because they could have made this attack, and they could have attacked with this if they had one as well. And then Gadwick looking great here, going to get to play a land and then draw 2. Need a triple block there? Nah, I think because they didn't attack with this, they were pretty unlikely to have it, and I'd rather my Mutavault didn't die, because I want to play Gadwick and draw 2. I think their plays indicated that they didn't have an instant. But if they're likely not to have it, why? Because I don't want the Mutavault to die, Brad. So I think they'd order the Mutavault to kill it first, and I want the land for Gadwick. Yeah, I think like 2 Gadwick is pretty great. I think there's 2 on my website. There's not 2 on the list on my site. I should add a second. I know there's at least 1. Pioneer, Blue Devotion. Yeah, there's two Gadwick on the list on my site. I'm gonna take 1 extra damage and Aether Soulscar Mage here because I Let's get aggressive. Because they're dead on the backswing, right? Yeah, taking the Soulscar Mage out means that they're less likely to be able to cut through my blockers. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Beep, beep, beep-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Is the protection from red card good in the red matchup? What do we think? Oh, yeah. We came to play, chat. Aether Gust, Cerulean Drake. Let's do it. Can you get a ruling on the best type of cranberry sauce? I'm not super partial to a particular brand of cranberry. I don't... How do we feel about Curious Obsession? How do we feel about Curious Obsession? I like just like the classic canned cranberry. Pretty, oh, I cut a Tempest Djinn by mistake. Whoops. Rapid Hybridization, like, killing my thing in response. Yeah, I think Curious Obsession's a little medium. And I think, like, hybridizationing my thing when they go to shock it is like a blowout. Let's give this a go. Like, obviously hybridizationing their things isn't stellar, but like hitting our own is great. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's this Mausoleum Wanderer at? Block. Their dojo contains fear, chat. They've let fear creep into their dojo. Don't let the fear creep in, chat. So I'm gonna diddle this one, but I'm gonna try and block this one. Searing Blood. Woof. I would like to counter your divination. Aether Gust, not looking stellar. I mean, to be fair, I didn't cut creatures for these Aether Gusts, right? Like, if you look at the cards I boarded out like Curious Obsessions. I got 2 Brazen Borrowers too, but like those wouldn't be particularly useful here anyways. Oh, Tricky Dick. You like Rejection for Looter Scooter? I guess we did not see Looter Scooter, but I guess it tags 8 things. I can see that being okay. All right. Do you have another removal spell? Yep. It's not looking good for our hero, chat. It's not looking good for our hero. The part that like land hazard at us. We're running out of 5. Need a master of babes here. Whirly boy up in the base. Shooting rockets in our face. As you will. Do you have another one of these? Just dead. Got it. Got it good. Hashtag never lucky. That's okay. Get to be on the plate for this one. Rapid Hybridization's extra good in the face of their Searing Bloods. Oh, man. All the 6 spell hands look great, right? It's just like this. Just like replace any of these cards at random with the second land. It's just so good. Cause it's a sneepa keepa do 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 sneep papa keep papa do 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 be do 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 do. What are the tails ends for? I'd assume for legendary cards and triggered abilities. Do red decks have outs to pro red creatures? Yes. Bone Crusher Giant's Stomp effect makes it so protection doesn't prevent damage till end of turn. So if I block a red creature and they stomp something, my protection creature will die. Wild Slash with Ferocious active also does it. Accurate. I bought him the castle instead of an island in case we draw a Tempest Djinn. Wanted the extra point of power. I think Skullcrack's legal, if I recall. If I recall correctly. I should have left this back. Giving them the opening to have Beaumont Courier here was bad. So block this. We take 1. We untap. We play Master of Waves. If we draw a good Devotion card, we might play that instead. Punish for bottoming the castle. Yep. Ah, yes. The incredibly powerful Cloudfin Raptor. Are you quaking in fear, chat? I'm not certain that this little guy is good. There's a lot of different 1-drops that you can play in this archetype. This had been a Spectral Sailor, we could have drawn a card here. He's dead, Jim. You killed him. Am I trading Drake here? Am I trading this? I think I am. Yeah, I don't know, Dragonite. It could go either way, right? Like, Cloudfin's definitely good on turn 1. Definitely games Cloudfin's gonna win you that those other 2 don't. Pretty bad top deck, though, for sure. Like a double block Chain Whirler. That's a thought, I suppose. I didn't think about that. Yeah, maybe that's the line. It's not possible, Mitsu. That's something I would have to manually update on the screen. That's just not gonna happen. I don't have the bandwidth to do another thing while streaming. Is basically the TLDR. There's no way to automate that. I guess it does actually say the match in very tiny text at the top says match 2. It doesn't actually show the game. The lack of game pips anywhere on the screen is a big deal. Yeah, the suggestion of double blocking the Chain Whirler the turn I traded the Drake for the Bowmat, I think that was a good one. And I should have done that. Yeah, that overlay doesn't work half the time, Chewy. And I'd rather just not have it on than have it on and be wrong half the time. That's the thing MTG bot does, but it frequently doesn't work. Or frequently just shows the wrong information. It always shows something, but it frequently shows the wrong thing. Yeah, I do know about these things. That's why I said it doesn't exist. Yeah, that felt really bad. Maybe if I take a different double block there, I end up... Maybe if I take a different double block there, it ends up okay, but I could also just, like, end up losing because then the Bowmat Courier draws them 3 extra cards. Thanks for the quarter of a year, Crows. I appreciate you keeping me around. Yeah, I'm like, I could manually update it, but there's just, like, too much going on while I stream. I would forget to update it, and having wrong information on the screen is worse than having less information on the screen. In my opinion. Hey, look, this could have been a Nykthos. See, it's a little bit medium around the play. I think I'm going to keep it. I can, like, bounce their thing on turn 2, play a threat on 3. Hey, thanks for the 5 months, dear Doss. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yep. It's actually a pretty okay pickup. I get to end step Brazen Borrower here, untap Curious Obsession plus play Thassa, and then I can Gadwick the following turn, draw some cards. Once upon a time, there was a... Blast Zone's not bad. One's not terrible either. It's a learned skill for sure, J-Wall. Definitely better at trying to engage and play and talk about why we're doing what we're doing while we play than I was, you know, forever ago. Even then, like, I'd estimate especially while trying to engage in chat and address questions. Like, my play is like anywhere from 10 to 25% worse or more than when I'm not doing that. Wow, that's super unfortunate. Just assuming their mono green deck wouldn't have a removal spell. The Bit Badge emotes go live sometime mid-December, Bionic Broccoli. Yeah, that's like probably the game. I don't think I have enough pressure. There's like gonna get Field of the Dead going before we do anything, or like the Shrine of the Gods are turned on, so just gonna let to like slam a big threat that way. Mid to late December was my understanding from my my partner rep. My body is ready to be Ugined. And for Tempest Djinn. Worth noting here that if this had been an island, I could have played Surge Mare and attacked for 5 here. But because it's a Mutavault, I can't double spell this turn. I'm not sure that it matters. They have a big fatty we're just dead anyways. Like, they have untapped land. They can Ulamog us here. And they can already Ugin. Couple of rejections, couple of tailed ends, tails end. Dive down seems fine. Spell pierce seems fine. Brazen Borrower as a threat seems fine. Surge Mare gets blocked by zombies. Gadwick gets blocked by zombies. Melody's not very good either. I don't know if Aether Gust is actually good enough here. It can like tempo their ramp spells, but it doesn't actually tempo. I think that's good enough. I'm gonna trip Master of Waves. Let's give this a try. Steal the Dead have any type of effects on mid-range decks in the format. Yeah, I mean, dirtily mid-range isn't good against field, but they're like, this format's also diverse enough that like a single archetype doesn't really push anything out of the format. If there's anything that's pushing things out of the format, it's mono black just because of its raw power level. My body's ready to get a Boreal Greaser out of the game. Yeah, maybe we just want, like, bad cancel. Yeah, grazer me, daddy. Grazer me harder. Yep. Let's get them 2 basic forests, 1 into play, 1 into their hand. Like they're just gonna have 5 mana on turn 3. Our Promise and a Boreal Grazer are both real good Magic cards. It's like they're on their 3rd turn, they can have 7 lands in play here if they have Land Hour. It's just like quite absurd. And like the opponent's deck's a good example of like, I think people complaining about Field of the Dead are kind of unfounded, because, like, the opponent's deck is still a deck that slaughters most mid-range decks, even without Field of the Dead being legal. Like, no Field of the Dead, no problem. The opponent's deck is just gonna, like, still cast Ulamogs and Ugins ahead of curve and mess you up. Yeah, Spectral Sailor's quite good. I'm gonna get World Breakered here. Is Cloudfin Raptor just bad? I mean, it's always bad on turn 4. To be fair, any other 1-drop would be bad on turn 4 here as well. So, like, I don't really know that, like, picking on Cloudfin Raptor for being bad is ideal. Gobble, gobble, Proxytron. Thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Power and toughness equal number of lands you control. Search your library for a land and put it onto the battlefield tapped. And it has reach. Alright, well, piles of reach monsters means we are dead. Yeah, Breaker also has reach. That's why I didn't attack my flying creatures the turn prior. Rough. Scruff, McGruff, rough. Again, like. Their last creature was an Ulvenwald Hydra. Yeah, Pioneer. Pioneer has lots of ways to spend those mana payoffs. And again, it really... The talk about people blaming Field of the Dead for mono black being good really just goes to show you that you can't teach a dumb dog new tricks. Like, people learned nothing from Standard. Like, people are always certain that the thing keeping their pet deck down is something, and if they ban that something, that suddenly the format's going to be super open and diverse. That's just like not how Magic works. There's always a best deck. And like, just like when we banned Field in Standard. Yeah. It's so weird to me that people are blaming Field of the Dead for the mono black deck. Just like being super efficient and having the best tools. Ban cards until Grixis is good. Can we just like never beat an Arboreal Grazer? I think there's a chance we can never beat an Arboreal Grazer. It's been a rough week for Pioneer, chat. 60 leagues later, I think the honeymoon might be coming to an end, at least until they ban something from the black deck and shake things up again a little bit. Forget who said this, but it went something like, the more options and tools you have, the fewer optimal paths there will be. Yeah, and we've talked about that with regards to the removal spells in the format on stream a number of times before. Like, I've heard people try and say, like, part of the issue with this format is that the removal's not good enough, but I actually think the removal not being good enough is a good thing for the format, because when removal is worse, more creatures are playable. For example, in Modern, creatures that die to Lightning Bolt that cost 3 or more mana generally aren't playable because Lightning Bolt is the litmus test for that format. It's the, hey, if you die to this, you're probably not good enough. I do also think that, like, some of these games have kind of felt like, convinced me that I definitely want 4 Thassa. Like, part of the way you can steal some of the games, like this game probably not mattering, but like having Thassa to like cut through board states is very powerful. It's been a rough day, Anaphylactic. We've been incinerating a good number of tickets. Yeah, they're playing the big mana deck of the format. Yeah, Boreal Grazer is just very good against the natural predators of decks like what that card goes in. I don't even think it's necessarily about run bans Anaphylactic. I don't think we've been unlucky so much as like our decks just haven't been good enough. As things have gotten more efficient and optimized, a lot of these other decks are going to become worse as the format settles. So like, as people... If I submit Yarok Field in Standard... No, yeah, I'll just play my latest list, Waterfalls. Always happy to run back a favorite like that. Any of the historic decks up on my website. It's hard to say, Anaphylactic. Like when people always ask, like, people always want those hot takes really early, like, is it good, is the format great, etc., etc. It's like, well, I don't know is basically always the correct answer, because I don't. Like, the amount of time you have to play and the format has to settle, and with the kind of constant cycling of bans and rebans as this format matures, like, that's going to take a while to figure out, like, what's actually good or bad, and, like, if the decks that are good, what their play patterns look like. Yeah, we played Yarok Field last week. My website has a historic page on it, just like we have Pioneer and Standard up there. Lots of my takes on various deck lists. I mean, I think you could loosely define goals that allow you to objectively say, like, you could define metrics and be like, these are the metrics that I use to define a good format, and this is why this format meets or doesn't meet those metrics. And like, what metrics different people have for what constitutes a good format are definitely going to differ person to person. Will Dushav. But I think you definitely, like, saying, hey, you can't talk about whether or not a format's good or bad. I think that's not true. I think you could definitely be like, these are the things I like in an ideal format, and this format does or doesn't meet those. I don't think Path Tech, yeah, both those takes seem pretty bad, Patreon. I think Eldraine Standard 2.0 was definitely the worst of the 3 Eldraine Standards I've played. I think 3.0 is fine. I think I preferred 1.0, but I think 3.0 is also fine. Just can never, ever beat a turn 1 Boreal Grazer. Just ever in a million years. I just have no pressure. They have Grazer and we just can't win. Alright, I'm gonna play the last one and see if we can get 5 of our $10 back, but it's been a rough set. They all asymptomatically approach Legacy over time. I think without management, that's definitely true, Darth. Like, as format, and it seems counterintuitive to say that, but if you don't manage a format with a ban list, as it gets more cards, there actually become fewer and fewer playable cards in a format. If a format's not properly managed, the larger it gets, the smaller the playable card pool gets, because the power level concentrates around particular types of strategies. And if you don't keep those strategies kneecapped on occasion to, like, make them worse, your format as a whole is going to be more limited. I definitely think that's part of the reason I became disinterested in Modern, is I think as the format gained more cards, it became more and more narrow. And it pushed out a lot of the decks that I enjoy playing. Like, one of my favorite decks pre-Modern Horizons, for example, was Elves. And Elves is, like, pretty close to unplayable in Modern in a competitive sense, post Horizons. Just the way the cards they printed and the way they line up into the format is not great. Yeah, it sounds fine, Frost Kitty. Once upon a time, a long time ago in a galaxy far away, JW, Modern was supposedly a turn 4 format. Yeah, not only Plague Engineer, but like Ren and 6, also Dumpster Elves. Dumpster's Elves. I think you could probably beat just Plague Engineer. Yep, yeah, everything goes through the form. Keep in mind, Pioneer submissions are still more expensive at the moment. Until I get down to a dozen decks in the queue, Pioneer submissions are $50 or a tier 3 sub. Which is steep, but I'd rather not have decks sitting forever in the queue. No, I actually think Hearthstones have a base set and expand incrementally kind of sucks. I think it's part of the reason why Hearthstone's not a terribly interesting game. I think the have a base set and expand on it in conjunction with how their neutral cards work in Hearthstone makes the gameplay very dry and repetitive. Means it loses replayability over time. Yeah, if you upgrade to tier 3, I'm happy to get that added for us, Kitty. We're in a bottom Cloudfin here, just looking for a land for this Master Waves. Alright, Tempest Djinn turns on Thassa again. Also, levels up the Cloudfin. We've been absorbed. Entrancing Melody looking real awkward here in the main deck against the blue-white control deck. In. Second verse, same as the first. A little bit louder and a whole lot worse. Well, you know. Yikes. Hearthstone standard's completely broken, but everybody's playing Battlegrounds now anyways. Yeah, I've seen a number of folks that dipped into Magic. Are off on Battlegrounds and stuff now. It's gonna be interesting to me to see who sticks with Magic Arena, like once other games start dropping, like Battlegrounds dropped, and like when the League of Legends card game drops. I wonder if we'll see some people who showed up streaming Magic with Magic Arena jump ship to that one. Yeah, there are some sponsored Hearthstone folks like Fizz, but there's also a number of organic ones like Show, for instance, is like Hero of His Own Accord, making a ton of content as well. Hey, thanks for the tier 3 Frost Kitty. I appreciate the upgrade. Happy Wednesday. We'll get red black aggro in the queue. Put a seal away over there. Yep. Are we dead? I feel like we're dead. Think I'll try Legend of Runeterra? No, probably not. I'm not a huge fan of Riot as a company. Like, I barely have the bandwidth to stream as much Magic as I want to stream. So, even if I didn't dislike Riot as a company, I'm not sure that I would have time to do it anyways. Magic's got a lot of reasonable formats. Mythgard's pretty decent, so I have room for another thing at the moment. Gosh, we really don't have board cards here, do we? I guess I have Tail's End and Dispute. I don't think Annul is good enough. Melody's an easy cut. I'm gonna cut the Cloudfin, just bring up my average card quality a little bit. It's my last cut here. Need one more trim. Master of Waves, maybe. It's a little bit on the expensive side. And they're going to be keeping my board kind of small anyways. I actually like Surge Mare because it helps us loot. We also don't really want to overextend in this matchup, so we're frequently going to have turns where we have extra mana available. And strapping. Curious Obsession to the horse is just like, bar none, the best thing we can do. Sand's not great, but it's fine. Nah, you can just donate Waterfalls. That deck's great. I think I want to stick Thassa now, while they don't have a 3-mana counterspell up. Mystical Dispute is very good against us. Just a charm, yep. Yeah, one of the problems with Hearthstone when I was playing it too is the lack of sideboards means that you just like don't have a chance for counterplay in your skewed matchups. Poor little Thassa. This is the part where I commit a second threat and they Supreme Verdict me. So, smell that, chat? Smells like weakness. Can't spell pierce a Supreme Verdict. Can spell pierce their cantrip to deny them a land. Flash Threat here is good. They stumble. Might be able to run them down here. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. Come sail away, come sail away. Do 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 do. I'd like my Thassa back, please. A card. Card's pretty good against us, chat. Alright, 3/3 Divination. Attack for 2. Go. Yeah, with Hearthstone, they can't hide the data like they do with Wizards. There's just so many deck trackers and so many matches played. So I'm going to go ahead and play Merfolk Trickster now as a sorcery. It's worse against sorcery speed removal, but it means I get to get in underneath the counterspell, which is ideal. Bye, Felicia. Alright, couple of good runners here, and we could be in an okay spot. That's a decent one. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Be do 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 do. He gone. Down to one card in hand. Moto does not show the current game matchup game anywhere. It's real bad. Premier Magic Game Client. Well done. Excellent features everywhere. This is where the magic happens. I think it's impossible for him to go the distance. There's a castle here that just fogs him every turn. Yep. Azuria's Charm does not resolve Fogworks, though. It's notify midstream if a sub automatically renews. So when you re-up a sub, you have to, it gives you a chance to send a notification through. So you can attach a message of your choosing with it. So when the sub re-ups, you control when the notification happens. Alright, down to 2. Spectral Sailor was a good pickup. Doesn't attack meaningfully while the Jace is out, or does it? Alright, easy choice. He gone. Hey, thanks for the tip, Waterfalls. I appreciate it. Whoop. Floop this little guy on down. I assume if they're going to opt in response here in case they hit an Absorb. Of course, Absorb's also a card they might trim in this matchup. You put a card on top of their library. That doesn't bode well for our hero, chat. Can this little guy draw more than one card? That's the question. Oh, I should have drawn... Because I could draw, Curious Obsession for lethal here. Did I punt? What? Sure. He shall draw himself. The only Jared. Thank you for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I'm gonna do this in response. So I can give them a counterspell. Believe it or not, they took the Sphinx's Revelation. I think we've died, chat. Hey, we drew another Spectral Sailor. It's exciting. Right on time, Spell Pierce, right on time. Welcome to the party, Spell Pierce. Maybe they drew a bunch of poop. We get to Tails End, the other architect I thought that they took. We're only at 6. Were we supposed to counter the Jace down tick? Yeah, maybe. It's a good thought. They had dispute anyway, so it didn't matter. Didn't matter. Because they left a blue up last turn, right? So they had the dispute was like their last card. Well, shoot. Alright, Gas Sphinx's Revelation. Hey, diddle diddle, the Gadwick and the fiddle. Yep. That was like our best move, right? It's just gone. I'd like to diddle that one, please. The problem is they have a Jace Plus here, so we can't attack their Planeswalkers. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose despite the Sailor drawing us a bunch of cards. Like we're actually through almost half our deck. It's just like our average card quality is just much lower than theirs. They didn't have a Jace uptick here. We could be okay, but with that, that's gonna be all she wrote. Nah, protecting Gadwick didn't matter, Tom. They had a blocker for it, so Gadwick wasn't gonna happen either. Man, been a rough couple of days for Pioneer. I don't know. And I was expecting this to happen at a point, like, a lot of the decks that we try here are a little bit off the beaten path, or they're not quite the decks that are, like, the best decks in the format. And as the format becomes a little bit more optimized and things like two of the matches in that league, for instance, we just got run down by Field of the Dead decks where we just, didn't really have a chance. And as more things become optimized like that, it's going to be harder and harder for decks that are off the beaten path to be competitive and keep up. And that's just how formats develop. That's a feature of every card game ever. Brand new formats are hard to estimate because you don't really know what's good and what's bad, and people are just slamming untested brews into untested brews. And as that becomes less the case, you really start to see things shake out and get a feel for what the power level looks like. So I think we're actually probably going to take it easy on Pioneer until the ban list update on Monday night. So I think we'll do one Pioneer tomorrow, but I think we might do a little bit extra Magic Arena and do some more Standard and Historic and give Pioneer a bit of a breather until Tuesday. We'll do a little bit of Modern on Friday, I think. So we'll probably do one Pioneer tomorrow and then Modern Friday and Tuesday. Or Friday and Monday, and then dip back into Pioneer Tuesday once we know how the ban list updates have been. Historic's been reasonable, but like I said, it's hard to know. Same thing when Pioneer was first came out, what's actually good and what's bad, we don't know. It's mostly us slamming our mediocre brews into other people playing mediocre brews, and what the format actually looks like, and is it good or bad? We can't tell until things start to solidify a little bit more. Hey, thanks for the 19 months, Go to Scoop Step. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Speaking of Magic Arena, that's our second Pioneer deck for today. So we're going to go ahead and dive on into some Standard on Arena coming up next year. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll, and when I get back, we're going to come back with some Jund Oven featuring Bontu Mayhem double combo.